Stampers, it's Judy Klock here at Stampin' with Crafty Klock, coming to you for a little edition of live tonight. And the reason I'm a little bit late is because I just got my order in today, and I ordered the Waves of Inspiration suite. This is a new product suite that just released to demonstrators on February 1st, and it will be available for customers to order on March 1st, and this will be in the new annual catalog that comes out in May. So you're getting like a little sneak peek of one of the new products, and I really think it's awesome. You've got some really pretty images here with like the rolling waves, the pelican on the little pylons, then a couple of really pretty sentiments. Happy birthday, our friendship is a thing of beauty, you're so totally awesome, and your strength is an inspiration. And then you've got 10 different die cuts. So you've got these two here that look like waves, and I think that you can stamp them. I mean, you can stamp the wave and then layer these over the stamped image to give it a little bit more dimension. Of course, you've got the die that will cut out the stamped pelican image. You've got a couple of clouds. They might be hard to see. They're white on white. A couple of birds. These are like little wave borders. So they're tiny. So you would have to, if you wanted to have a sequence of them, you'd have to like put them like do it several times to get them across, because that one's about, I guess, 1.5 inches wide, and that one's about maybe 2.5 inches wide. Hey Patricia, thanks for sharing. And then you've got these two labels, and I love that they have the cutouts on the sides so you can thread ribbon or twine through to just give your card a little bit extra pizzazz. So let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's cards. Before we do that, I want to show you, I was starting to work on my designs for my March class, and we will be featuring Easter friends. And here's, just look at that sweet little bunny. So that will be one of the designs that will be coming up in March. And I'll be opening up that registration probably on Sunday. And I also have registration open for my creative convention that's coming up at the end of March, and we'll be featuring the Flowering Fields suite of products. So go ahead and look on my events section on my Stampin' with Crafty Klock page and sign up. Registration is $75. That includes about $50 worth of product plus the postage to mail the whole package to you, and it'll be a big box. Plus there's always a couple other goodies that I sneak in there. A lot of table gifts and prize patrols. Prize patrols are kind of like a door prize. If you've never been to a Stampin' Up event, they have, excuse me, these prize patrols. And it's kind of like a door prize. So I do that. All right, so let's go ahead and look at what we can do with this Waves of Inspiration. Oh, I forgot to show you the best part, the designer series paper, which is stunning. Hang on. These are the jewels. These are classic, like the rhinestones, and they come in a whole bunch of different colors. I don't have the colors on me, but it's like Night of Navy, I think Pacific Point, Balmy Blue. It looks like Calypso, not Calypso Coral, excuse me, Coastal Cabana, and I'm not sure which the two greens are. I'd have to go back and look those up. Literally, it came out 2 days ago, and I just got it this afternoon, and I couldn't wait to play with it. Okay, part of the product suite is also this beautiful metallic paper. So you have Night of Navy, you have Silver, and you have Calypso Coral. Oh gosh, Coastal Cabana. I knew it was a double C. I keep going Calypso Coral. Coastal Cabana. So those are the foils, really lovely. And then you've got this gorgeous, stunning designer series paper. Now, if you've ever looked at like the videos on YouTube or Facebook where they do those paint pour parties, that's exactly what this paper looks like. It's stunning. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I'm in love. Look at that. It's just, I can't even describe it, because I just think it is so absolutely gorgeous. And if that doesn't give you a feel of, look at this. I feel like I'm at the beach. I feel like I got the waves and the water just rolling in. Oh, look at that, with like the sand and the water. Oh, obviously these I have cut up for tonight's class or tonight's demo. Oh my gosh, all of my favorite colors. What are the colors that are in that designer series paper? So we have Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Petal Pink. So some really, really beautiful colors in this paper. Who loves this color? Give me a thumbs up if you love this designer series paper. I am totally in love with it. All right, let's go ahead. And if you join Stampin' Up! Right now, if you join my team right now, you could put this as part of your starter kit. Just a thought. So if you don't want to wait till March 1st, you can get it now when you join. So we're going to work on this one first. Again, I'd like to do a simple stamping one because we have some friends that are new and, you know, I don't want to overwhelm them. So this is really just all straight cuts on a paper trimmer. Very simple little birthday card. Suitable, you know, for a guy or a gal. You know, change the colors up maybe. I went with the pinks because my mother-in-law's birthday is coming up this month. But, you know, if you want to make it for a guy, just change up the colors. So we have a base of our thick basic white, 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Petal Pink that is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of that designer series paper that is 5 by 3 3/4. And I have a little piece of our basic white here that is, I think, 2.5 by 2. Let me measure this. I don't remember now what this one is. Oh, it was 2 by 3 1/4. Okay, sorry about that. Like, sometimes I can't remember exactly what I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and burnish this. All right, then I'm going to take our happy birthday and I am going to stamp that inside. And I'm keeping everything in the soft suede palette that I used to stamp our pelican. So I'm just now, this is, I always usually say stamp then stick, but because I'm using a base of basic white, I think this looks like it's maybe not on my stamp straight. So give me a second. Let me re-stick this on my block. Okay. There we go. All right. We'll ink it up again. As I was saying, I always say stamp then stick, but because this is our basic white, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp and pray that I don't rock it and then I get a good stamp. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I could always put an insert on there, so it's not a total loss, but that's actually not too bad. I'll take it. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to layer. Before I close it up, let me stamp our pelican on here, and then I can close my ink pad. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's get all of our stamping done. As you can see, I do have very inky fingers. I was really rushing to get these done because I was so excited to play with this new set. Waves of Inspiration. Okay. All right, here we go. So now I'm just going to layer up my designer series paper onto my Petal Pink. I have to say, I wasn't really a fan of Petal Pink, but the more I use it, the more I really like it. It's really grown on me. It's a very subtle pink. And I do like it. I find myself using it more and more. All right. I'm going to stamp that on there. I'm not going to stamp it. I'm going to stick it. Now, the one thing I am going to do is I am going to stamp our Friendship is a Thing of Beauty right on the designer series paper. And I am going to stamp that in our soft suede. Okay. Again, if I mess this up, I'll just cut a piece of cardstock and I will just put it over my stamp. But I think I did okay. So I think I dodged a bullet on that. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to grab some dimensionals and we're going to put our little pelican on. And then this card will be done. So we've really done nothing more than stamps, ink, and paper. We didn't do anything terribly fancy. Hey, Cheryl, how are you today? Good to see you all here. Maureen, I see you're here. All right, and there we go. So there is our simple stamping card. Now, if you wanted to jazz it up, you could always add some gems. You could have added some ribbon. You can add a little wink of Stella. But again, I'm keeping this basic for our friends that are new to stamping. So this is a very simple card that really anyone can go ahead and do. All right, let's go ahead and work on our second card. Now again, this isn't all that fancy, but can you tell I've cut that that gorgeous metallic paper, and I only had time to cut one. I wanted to cut another one in that Coastal Cabana and layer it over, but I'll have to go back and do that. I ran out of time. But let's go ahead and get started. So I have here a piece of our Night of Navy. It's 8.5 by 5.5. Yeah, I think so too, Sheila. And I scored a 4 1/4. Now this is going to be landscape. So I have my piece of basic white for the inside. This is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp a little pelican on there in that corner. I just kind of, I kind of like him. I think he's cute. So I just wanted an excuse to leave. Natalie, the paper is absolutely stunning. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So we've got our inside. So let's go ahead and add that. I think this might end up being a future class. What do you all think? Yes? No? God, I don't know where these hairs are coming from and why they're sticking. But they are, and it's driving me a little bit crazy. Okay, hang on. Let me... I don't know if that's a pencil mark or what. I don't know where. Okay, tell me how I got a pencil mark on there, because I have no pencils anywhere near here. But I give up. All right, then I have a piece of Pacific Point that is 4 1/4 by 5. So I'm going to put that down. Okay. Okay. Now I've got a piece of that Designer Series paper. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So again, all of my layers are getting like 1/4 of an inch shorter on each side as I work from bottom to the top layer. And I always just eyeball it. I get them pretty straight. Sometimes they're a little cockeyed, but I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Then you can justify the purchase. I like it, Natalie. Well, I think maybe like April. This might be the April's class. I have to wait till it's available, and I've already got the March class done. Okay, now, I have here a piece of paper that is a little bit longer than I need, because I'm going to have to trim it down. So I'm going to go ahead, and for this, I need to bring in the Stamparatus, because that wave stamp is really big. Okay, so just bear with me. And this is actually what got my fingers so inky, was that silly wave stamp, because first I stamped it in like Balmy Blue and I didn't like that. Then I stamped it in Night of Navy and I didn't like that. So then I said, well, let me try the Pacific Point, and I'm like, okay, that one will work. Sometimes you just got to try it a couple of times to see what works and what doesn't work. And the Pacific Point was the winner tonight. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to line up my stamp. Now it doesn't have to be right to the edge, because I am going to end up trimming this piece down. Okay, so I'm going to trim it eventually to 5 by like 2.5. Okay, so then I'm going to pick up my stamp, and then I'm going to add my Pacific Point to my stamp. I don't know if you can see it. I'm just going to ink it up. Let me take this off so folks can hopefully see. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to ink this up. Make sure I get it nice and inky. You can definitely tell that I was stamping tonight, because my fingers are like completely blue. Good thing I work from home and don't have to go to the office tomorrow. All right. But as you can see, it is a big stamp, so you really do need the Stamparatus for this one. I think it's just too unwieldy to not use the Stamparatus. Okay, I don't like that. Let me go. I think my magnet's in the way. There we go. All right. All right, I think that's pretty good. Now, I am going to just take a minute and wipe off my fingers before I work with that, because I'm not quite sure what ink is on there at this point and what's not. Okay. Hopefully this will get the worst of it off. Okay. Now I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer. And the first thing I'm going to do is I don't want that white like edge there. So I'm just going to trim it off, and I might actually get a little bit of the stamped image. That's okay. All right, now I'm going to trim, I want to trim this down to like 5 inches, but I'm gonna do a little bit on each side. So I'm going to take it there because I want to get, again, I want to get that white edge off, and then I'm going to turn it this way. So I'm probably taking off about maybe 1/8 of an inch on each side. Okay, and then I'm going to try, I think I did like 2.5. I think 2.5 worked. Okay, so now we've got 2.5. Now to this, I went ahead and I put the adhesive sheets on the back of here because I knew that with something this delicate, with these fine lines, you got to have that adhesive sheet backing. It's just going to make your life so much easier. If you don't have them, I highly, highly recommend that you get them. Okay, just want to make sure I line this up. And look how easy that sticks now. Okay, so I got a little bit on the edge. I've just got to trim off this little tiny bit here. It's okay, I'm just going to take my paper snips and snip that off. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp our sentiment. You're so totally awesome. And I am going to use my Calypso Coral. I've been talking about this all night, calling Coastal Cabana Calypso Coral. And I just thought we needed to break up that blue just a little bit. All right, so now we've got that. I really do want to layer that other color of the metallic on here. I just think it would look really good. So I'm going to put this on with some dimensionals because, you know, I love my dimensionals. It's a big one, so I'm going to put 6 because we're going side to side. Ugh. Okay. Then I'm just going to kind of center that in the middle of my designer series paper. And now I'm going to just add some of these rhinestones. So I don't know where, oh, here it is. I don't know where I put my pick tool, but there it is. I found it. Okay. So I picked these. I think these were like the Pacific Point ones. So I picked the lighter of the 2 blues. It doesn't matter where you put them. Just put them on there any way that you want. And there we have our more involved card. So that's it for tonight. We've got a really simple stamping card, and we've got our more avid or advanced card, if you want to call it that. So that's it. Again, this is a brand new bundle. It is available now for pre-order by Demos, and you can order it as a customer. Hey Marcia, how are you? You can order this as a customer starting March 1st, and this will carry over into the new catalog that comes out in May. So I think it's really gorgeous. That designer series paper is stunning. If you're joining us late, watch the replay where I show this beautiful designer series paper. Like I said, I'm obsessed with like those paint pour videos on YouTube. So if you've ever watched those, the paper just reminds me of those paintings from like a paint pour. All right, that's it for this edition. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching on replay, go ahead and write #replay and let me know where you're watching from. Are you from Virginia? We're here in Northern Virginia. really rainy day today, so let me know where you're coming in from. Thanks, everybody. I will see you next week. Have a great evening and an even better weekend. Bye.